News 6 Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos. Live from clickorlando.com and WKMG, we're getting results in your neighborhood now at 5 a.m.
Now on News 6 Mornings, a former youth base basketball coach locked up on molestation charges. The new details we're learning about his arrest as deputies say there could even be more victims out there.
And a local city considering making a big move in order to get results for a flood-prone neighborhood. What leaders are expected to discuss today and the ban it could bring. Good morning on your Finally Friday. It is 5 a.m. I'm Crystal Moyer.
Finally. And I'm Stephen Montiero. Bridget has the day off. I'll take a check on those roads in just a moment, but we want to get over to meteorologist Michelle Morgan, who is in for Kansas. Michelle, looking for some drier weather this weekend.
Yeah, we are. It's going to be a really nice weekend across Central Florida. I think many of us deserve it. We've been dealing with so much rain, and rain chances will be low as we head into the weekend. So as we take a look at your out the door info, getting your day ready, we're looking at drier days ahead. We have some dry air filtering into the area, and fall begins already on Sunday. It's not going to necessarily feel like fall, unfortunately, but we are going to hold on to that drier air as we head into the upcoming work week as well. And I'm still tracking 3 areas across the tropics, one area gaining a little bit more attention than the others. And yes, that's that area in the northwestern Caribbean Sea. And of course, we'll talk about it through the show. But I do want to show you that dry air. This is the water vapor imagery. All of that orange on the map hanging over the Gulf of Mexico. You can see it's over the peninsula. And that's going to keep our rain chances nice and low. Current temperatures, we're in the 70s across the board. The villages, good morning, you're at 74. Orlando at 75 as we head to our coastal communities. 75 in Melbourne, Cocoa Beach at 77, and New Smyrna Beach at 73. So as we take a look at your forecast real quick, abundant sunshine through the morning, 81 by 10, 85 by lunch with a 30% chance for showers and storms with a high of 90. So coming up in a bit, we'll take a look at that weekend forecast and talk about the tropics. Now it's time to check on those roads. Here is Trooper Steve.
Thank you, Michelle. Things not horrible out there, but a lot of active construction. So please be careful. 417 north and southbound through the Lake Nona area. We are seeing some lane closures this morning, so I just need you to be cautious. Remember, no phone zone throughout that area. Kissimmee, we do have a crash along Osceola Parkway right there at Old Dixie Parkway. That's going to be east of OBT right before you get to right about Michigan. But Parkway looking pretty good this morning. I-4 currently up to speed east and westbound with no major issues out there. And DOT cam showing we're still closed northbound 429 for that earlier construction overnight. I issued that traffic alert last night right there at 5:35.
Breaking news overnight.
Deputies swarm a Brevard County apartment complex after reports of a shooting. It happened just after midnight at the Tropical Manor Apartments on Merritt Island. That's just off Jordan Road, not far from Gardendale Elementary School. We've reached out to the sheriff's office to find out exactly what happened and if anyone was hurt in this, but we've not heard back yet. Developing now, new details surrounding a disturbing crime alert in Marion County.
Yeah, a former youth basketball coach arrested, accused of molesting children. And investigators say there could even be more victims. Now, for the first time, we're seeing the moment he was taken into custody. News 6's Mark Lehman following the story and joins us in studio. Mark, deputies say that man would also offer parents money to keep their children.
Yeah, according to the arrest report, he admitted to offering to buy one parent's kids for $5,000 each. It's one of several disturbing allegations against the suspect, who deputies say used his position as a former youth basketball coach to take advantage of children.
In just a matter of hours, several Edgewater residents are expected to fill city council chambers as leaders look at ways to help ease flooding in the Florida Shores neighborhood. This is what it looked like last Saturday when a rainstorm led streets to look more like rivers there, and that's prompted leaders to schedule a special meeting. News 6's Ezzy Castro is in Edgewater this morning, and Ezzy, you know, the city's considering placing a moratorium on new projects.
Yeah, so a lot of residents here complain that they haven't seen flooding like this since Hurricane Ian 2 years ago. And they say they believe that new construction could be to blame, and that is something the city says is looking into. We spoke to one resident just last night. He told us that another concern are mosquitoes, because he says that there is still plenty of water in his neighborhood that's attracting that. We're gonna hear from him coming up at 5:30. For now, live in Edgewater, Ezzy Castro, and results, News 6.
Thanks, Ezzy. A flooding issue in Longwood Shadow Bay community appears to be nearing an end. So a judge has ruled the woman who purposely clogged a storm drain in her yard with concrete must have it fixed within 10 days. The decision comes after a 2-day civil hearing. The homeowners told us that the pipe was broken and put on her property without her permission. Since then, the neighborhood has been at risk for major flooding, even with regular everyday rain.
It's relief for all these homeowners who have been stressed, they've lost sleep, you know, they're worried about their own safety, so it's major relief for them.
After today's ruling, the woman said she was already speaking with an engineer and is working to fix the issues as soon as possible. Now, the judge said if she does not meet the 10-day deadline, the county or another authorized agent can do the repairs, and then she's going to have to pay for it. Man, turning back to your weather, Michelle, we shouldn't have to worry about flooding at least this weekend.
No, not at all, Steve. We're actually looking pretty dry, a few showers and storms, but nothing like we've been dealing with for the past couple of weeks. But I do want to touch on what's going on in the tropics. I'm continuing to watch 3 spots, 2 out in the open Atlantic and 1 area here highlighted by the National Hurricane Center in the northwestern Caribbean Sea and southeastern Gulf. Now, these 2 areas have a low chance for tropical development, but really this area is gaining a lot of attention here because we are looking at, again, long-range models are indicating that a low-pressure system could form early next week and could potentially head into the Gulf. There is a 40% chance for that. Slow development is expected, so it's going to take its time. Atmospheric conditions will be favorable for further development. Of course, we'll continue to watch it and see what it does, and it could potentially become a tropical depression early next week. And if it becomes a storm, the next name on the list as Helene. So we'll continue to watch that closely. And switching gears here, what's going on here locally, if you are planning a beach day today or heading into the weekend, we do have dangerous rip currents in place through Sunday, and there's a coastal flood advisory. So low-lying areas could potentially see a little bit of water, rising water in those spots. So your beach forecast for the weekend, upper 80s, a 20% chance for a few isolated showers, plenty of sunshine. And again, don't forget about that high rip current risk. So we'll talk more about this forecast. We'll time out the day, but now it's time to check on those roads. Here's Steve.
You just made the decision for me for next week because I'm not here. I guess I'm not going to the tropics, that's for sure.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Osceola Parkway at Old Dixie Highway. We do have a crash here down in Kissimmee. Just be careful, single lane blocked. This shouldn't bother us this morning. Fridays are always a little less traffic, plus it happened early, so we should be good to go. The attraction's nice and smooth, 535. Even I-4 east and westbound this morning, no major issues. And then DOT cam still showing. Let's see, how's things looking? We are back open along 429 this morning. So if you're getting ready to leave maybe the Oakland area or even Windermere, we are looking good. And then the Pine Hills area, at least north portions there, Maitland, east and westbound, up to speed.
Thanks, Steve. The time is now 5:10 on your Friday. A News 6 investigation after a woman says she was evicted from her affordable housing complex despite overpaying.
Yeah, ahead, what happened when our investigator, Eric Sandoval, got involved?
But first, a Kentucky judge shot and killed inside a busy courthouse. Up next, the county sheriff now locked up on murder charges and what investigators are saying about a possible motive.
This portion of the news is sponsored by AutoNation.
One of our insiders, right?
Yes, and honestly, a nice thing that you guys do, and it pulls us in even more. Really appreciate that.
Right now, a county sheriff in Kentucky is locked up on murder charges, accused of shooting and killing a district judge. It happened as he was sitting inside his courthouse chambers right in the middle of the day. It happened in Letcher County, a few hours southeast of Lexington. Investigators say Sheriff Sean Steins shot 54-year-old district judge Kevin Mullen several times. He died at the scene. Now, officials say several people were inside the building when this happened, but no one else was hurt. Detectives say they are still trying to figure out just exactly what took place before the shots were fired.
We know that it was an argument between the two that led up, but what exactly transpired prior to the shots being fired, still things that we're trying to get answers to.
That sheriff who is accused in the deadly shooting is facing one count of first-degree murder. He is expected to appear in court for the first time later today.
Wow. I mean, Everybody's seeing that increase in rent right now, and you go into it thinking it's affordable housing, and then they up that rent price. And
just glad we got Eric on our team.
Well, I'm glad she's able to stay in her apartment. Well, we all had a favorite toy as a child, but do you think yours is Hall of Fame worthy?
This is a really cool story. This year, 12 classic toys have made the list for possible induction into the National Toy Hall of Fame. So among the list, Transformers, the Pokemon trading card game, remote-controlled vehicles,
Your
the
favorite.
hobby horse, Germany likes that, and trampolines. Others on the list, balloons, Hess toy trucks, I'm the game for that, the little pony, and the game Apples to Apples. In the end, 6 toys will be chosen. Fans can vote in the Player's Choice category through next Wednesday. The top 3 toys will then, with the most votes, will be then added to the 3 submissions by the National Selection Committee. I like this.
We all remember Apples to Apples.
That is such a good board game. But I collected Hess trucks. My grandmother would get me a Hess truck every year. So
and they would come out with a different one, right?
I have a box in my attic with probably like 15 of them.
We'll keep them.
Yeah.
They're going to be worth something.
At some point.
We have some Hess trucks too.
Yeah? Your little man likes them?
Oh, loves them. Plays with them and my Pokemon cards.
Oh my goodness. I need to find mine.
I loved collecting those things. So still have my little collection. That's really cool.
So how are we looking today?
We're looking pretty good.
Good.
You're looking pretty good.
Oh, well, thank you.
You're
All right.
You're looking fantastic.
You just forgot. You looked over me, Michelle. That's fine.
No, you were further away.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Put on your glasses so you can see me more clearly.
Well, thank you for that. I will put on my glasses next time. All righty, let's take a look at what's going on here on the radar. I'll make sure next time I don't forget. Crystal, tracking a few light showers here moving across Reddick, also Oak, some downpours, and also a few downpours heading towards Silver Springs, and that's it. Pretty isolated at the moment. For the rest of Central Florida, we're beginning our morning nice and dry. Rain chances stay nice and low because of all of this dry air moving into the area. That is indicated by all of that orange, and what you're looking at, this is the water vapor imagery pinpointing the muggy air and also the dry air. So we'll be holding on to that dry air as we go through the next several days. Live look outside in Daytona Beach. All is quiet at the moment. Your temperatures are starting off in the 70s. Orlando, Ocala, good morning at 75. Daytona Beach at 74. And Melbourne beginning your Friday morning at 75 as well. So here's a look at your hour-by-hour forecast for Orlando.
Your weather forecast is sponsored by Fairwinds.
Well, temperatures will take its time warming up today. We'll be in the lower 80s by 10, middle 80s by lunch. And notice rain chances pretty low, 20% by lunch around noon, and then 30% as we wrap up the day, with highs reaching the upper 80s and lower 90s this afternoon. I do want to mention we do have a coastal hazard in effect, or a few coastal hazards. Coastal flood advisory for the entire East Coast through Sunday, and also dangerous rip currents. High rip current risk through Sunday as well. So if you are planning a beach day today, or at least through the weekend, just make sure you're being careful and swimming near a lifeguard. And then temperatures dipping into the 70s. So what's going on in the tropics? We're continuing to watch 3 areas here, 2 in the central Atlantic and 1 area over the northwestern Caribbean Sea, and also portions of the Gulf of Mexico. That area here, we're keeping a close eye on. A low pressure system could form early next week. National Hurricane Center has a 40%. I do think that will go up as we go through the weekend, but it is going to take its time. So slow development is expected, and a tropical depression could form early next week. If it becomes a storm, the next name on the list is Helene, and it could potentially head into the Gulf of Mexico. Plenty of time to watch it. Of course, we'll keep you updated. But here's a look at your 7-day, 90 today, 30%, 90 tomorrow, 20%. First day of fall is on Sunday, and it'll be breezy. Now it's time to check on those roads. Here's Trooper Steve.
Thank you, Michelle. Still just watching this crash. It's the only one we've got right now. Osceola Parkway at Old Dixie Highway. I just keep mentioning it because there is a lane blocked, and it could get a little busy out there. Outside of that, you guys look pretty good. 441 through Lockhart as you make your way up towards the Apopka area. Things nice and smooth. Even I-4 right there at 434 just west of Longwood, and then a little further east there into Winter Springs. How's Lake Jessup looking this morning? Pretty smooth as you're crossing over 417. Northbound and southbound lanes all clear, even as you make your way into Sanford this morning. That construction wasn't very active on I-4, but I need you to be careful right there at Reinhardt and State Road 46A.
Thanks, Steve. It's 5:22. A push to end the rising cost of condos in the state of Florida.
At the bottom of the hour, what the governor is calling on lawmakers to do by the end of the year.
But first, a possible new benefit when it comes to those popular weight loss drugs. Up next, how it may actually help prevent heart trouble.
No matter what's happening where you live, trust Sky 6 to get you the bigger picture. Exclusively sponsored by attorney Dan Newland.
Having a pinpoint accurate forecast is so vital. We use the most advanced tools to examine those changing forecasts. Our powerful pinpoint Doppler radar constantly sends us updated data that we analyze. We take all that and turn it into information that you can trust, drilling down to your neighborhood, minute by minute. So while the weather is unpredictable, we're not. That's why News 6 can say, pinpoint accurate.
So to come on News 6 Mornings, a fight to end flooding in Edgewater.
Yeah, coming up, the special meeting set for today after fed-up residents crowded a city meeting. What leaders are now considering banning in hopes of preventing washouts.
If your organization would like to be placed on WKMG's open position notification list, please call 407-521-1200. WKMG is an equal opportunity employer. Get the scoop on every theme park with our In the Loop Theme Park Scoops newsletter. Sign up at clickorlando.com/newsletters. Live from clickorlando.com and WKMG, we're getting results.
Now on News 6 Mornings, a former youth coach now accused of molesting children. The questions we're asking deputies about why he was able to have kids sleep over at his home.
And a neighborhood fed up with flooding are hoping to get results at a city meeting tonight. The solution, they say, will fix the problem.
And floating to space, tethered to a balloon, the ship carrying the out-of-this-world ride that just returned to Port Canaveral.
Whoa.
That's awesome. Good Friday morning, Central Florida. I'm Crystal Moyer.
And I'm Stephen Montiero. Bridget has the day off. Meteorologist Michelle Morgan is in for Candace this morning, tracking more drier weather for the weekend.
Yeah, that's right. I'm looking forward to it. We've been dealing with so much rain for the past couple of weeks, so we have some dry air moving in from the north. That's going to knock down rain chances beginning today. And we're looking at a mostly dry weekend ahead if you have any plans. As we take a look at the radar scan right now, scanning the skies, picking up on some ground clutter. That's not rain, but I am tracking a few isolated showers, some downpours over parts of Marion County this morning. We're looking at Martin, even south of Oak, some good downpours heading towards Ocala. And that's it. As we take a look at your outdoor info, so we are looking at drier days ahead. Fall begins on Sunday, and I am watching 3 areas across the tropics. Of course, I'll break it all down coming up shortly. But now it's time to check on those roads. Here's Trooper Steve.
Thank you, ma'am. Still looking good out here this morning. 5:31 in the morning, 417 north and southbound. If you're clearing Lake Jessup, no issues as you make your way into Lake Mary, Sanford. All city limits looking pretty good, even unincorporated portions of Seminole County. We slide into Volusia, Deltona. Good morning to you. If you're headed westbound, maybe from 472 this morning. No issues out there, no slowdowns, nothing to currently report to you. So let's slide out to Brevard County real quick. DOT cam showing we are nice and smooth outside of Mims.
Thanks, Steve. A disturbing story out of Marion County. A former basketball coach and the Boys and Girls Club now accused of molesting children and even holding a teen hostage at his home. Carl Lombardo was arrested this week in Ocala. Mark Lehman has the details of this horrific case and the search for more possible victims. Mark.
Yeah, the allegations in this are very unsettling. Detectives say the suspect used his position as a former basketball coach to build trust and gain access to children where he sexually abused them. This morning, Lombardo is being held without bond on several charges. Investigators believe there also may be more victims. Anyone with information is urged to call the number here on your screen. We have further details under this story on clickorlando.com.
New this morning, the city of St. Cloud has approved taking out a $90 million loan for a new public safety complex. The money will also cover a fire headquarters and 3 new fire stations. The St. Cloud police chief says they're bringing in more staff, but they're growing so fast they don't have anywhere to put them all.
Yes, my apologies there. My Brevard County mom facing criminal charges all because her kid missed too much school. 34-year-old Brittany Messenio appeared before a judge yesterday, charged with failure to require school attendance, along with some unrelated drug charges. Court records show her child missed more than 30 days of school in a 3-month period. But this isn't the first time. Records show the students also has more than 180 unexcused absences from 2021 to 2023 at Fair Glen Elementary School out in Cocoa. She'll face a judge again next month. In 2022, Brevard Schools launched a court program aimed at holding parents accountable for allowing their child to repeatedly miss class.
Well, fresh off its successful test mission to the edge of space, a first of its kind balloon is back in Central Florida. Space Perspective's Voyager ship docked at Port Canaveral today with its Neptune capsule, which is powered by what the company calls its space balloon. The goal, to take paying customers on a slow, gentle 6-hour ride to a height of 100,000 feet above Earth's atmosphere. News 6's James Barbero spoke with the CEO about Sunday's test flight and what it means moving forward.
It is all about access. And so what we're incredibly excited about is that this flight not only demonstrated the technology, because it was pretty much picture perfect, it also demonstrated all the way through the flight, from launch up to space and back down to splashdown, how incredibly gentle it is, and that is part of making it accessible.
Keep using the word gentle. The CEO is aiming for the end of 2025 or early 2026 for customer flights. A seat, costs just $125,000 if you have that laying around. Space Perspective says so far it's sold more than 1,800 tickets. And we want to know what you all think about this. Would you take a ride on the space balloon? You could take out your smartphone, and as soon as we come up with that QR code, you can scan that. But if not, you can just head to clickorlando.com/react. We want to know what you think. And Michelle, obviously, when you're paying that $125,000, weather is going to be a big impact on whether or not you'll be able to take that flight in the space balloon. How's the weather looking right now?
Looking pretty good. I'm just so amazed by it. And they kept using the word gentle, so I was like,
it's a gentle ride.
It's a gentle ride. Okay. Let me know how that goes for you. All right, as we take a look at the live radar scan here, scanning the skies across Central Florida, picking up on a little bit of ground clutter. That's not rain, but I am tracking a few isolated showers, some downpours moving across parts of Marion County this morning. So if you live in Martin, south of Oak, near the Ocala area, tracking a few showers in your area, but things are continuing to move. And for the rest of the day, many of us will see a dry and sunny day. Temperatures right now are starting off in the 70s. Sanford at 74, DeLand, good morning, at 72, Cocoa Beach at 77, and Melbourne at 75 degrees. So here's a look at your forecast for today. We'll see abundant sunshine as we go through the morning hours. Temperatures in the lower 80s by 10. By lunch, we'll be in the middle 80s. And look at your rain chances for today. We're looking at a 20 to 30% after lunch. So a few isolated showers, a few downpours are certainly possible, but look at your daytime high right where we need to be in the lower 90s. And the weekend is looking great. I'm watching 3 areas in the tropics. We'll talk about that coming up in my full forecast, but now it's time to check on those roads. Here is Trooper Steve.
Thank you, ma'am. On a Friday, we're looking pretty good. No balloons flying over Deltona this morning, so we're going to be okay. I-4 east and westbound, nice and smooth. Still DOT cam showing out in Brevard County outside of Mims along I-95 at the 223 mile marker. Nice and clear. I have to zoom in with my eyes there. That was the 223. Cocoa, West Cocoa, East Cocoa, all nice and clear. Yesterday was one of the best days we've had on patrol. We kicked off Hispanic Heritage Month with Trooper Garcia and Ezine, one of our News 6 interns. We went for a nice ride. She brought the cafecito. We learned all about Trooper Garcia and her Dominican heritage and what she is bringing to the highway patrol, truly breaking barriers. Head to clickorlando.com and check that out. Today, we're just going to go and talk about how speed limits are determined in certain areas and how you can get them changed if you feel like it. Join me at 10 a.m. at clickorlando.com.
I've always wondered about that.
Well, join me.
Interesting. I sure will. The time is now 5:41 on your Friday. While all eyes are on the tropics right now, some experts say Floridians should also be ready for a different natural disaster.
Yeah, still ahead, how to prepare for wildfire and the easy steps you can take right now that could save your finances later.
Trooper Steve on Patrol is sponsored by Gibson Truck World. We are the king of trucks. It's hurricane season, and the Pinpoint Weather Team is here for you. Because when the tropics heat up, we stay focused. No hype, no noise. Just a calm, consistent, accurate weather team tracking the hurricane's path with Pinpoint Doppler radar. And 3D views bring us inside the storm to help keep you and your family safe. This hurricane season, stay prepared with the News 6 Pinpoint Weather Team and the Hurricane Tracker app. News 6, getting results. Sponsored by AK Certified Roofing.
Welcome back. September is National Preparedness Month, an annual reminder that families should have a plan before disaster strikes. Most Floridians know about planning for hurricanes and floodings, right? But what about those wildfires? News 6 anchor Justin Warmoth has details about a recent wildfire risk study in this week's edition of Make Ends Meet.
Well, a historic Eatonville club known to host legendary stars like Tina Turner will soon get a second chance. After being closed for nearly 20 years, the building, as you can see, just started falling apart. But now there's plans underway to restore the venue while keeping the building's rich history alive. The design company in charge of the restoration will hold vision sessions next month, where you can come out and share memories and stories about the club.
Pretty cool. All right, Red Lobster has officially made it out of Chapter 11 bankruptcy and is now under new ownership. All 545 restaurants are now run by a new investment group led by the former CEO of P.F. Chang's. He says the chain is entering a new chapter and a long-term funding plan is in the works. Bill Darden opened the first Red Lobster restaurant in Lakeland in 1968 and now employs roughly 30,000 workers.
Wow. And it's a fresh start for a young sea turtle. After spending more than half a year in rehab, the green sea turtle named Otis was found in March suffering from hypothermia. This week, teams with the Florida Aquarium released Otis back into the ocean in Palm Coast, fixed with a transmitter that will allow teams to track feeding behaviors, travel patterns, and environmental conditions like water temperatures.
All right, Otis.
I love that.
Have any of you guys ever been to a turtle release, like on the beach with the baby turtles or anything?
No.
I've always wanted to do that.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
What are we waiting for?
I'm sure somebody out there is watching that could email us so we can come out and check that out.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. Yeah, they're so cute, the little ones.
And I think it's important after they do the rehab, they're keeping track of the turtles that they release.
And not only that, the water temperatures, I like that too. So we can know where they're swimming and what the temperatures are like.
Not too far out though.
It's almost a good weather. That's almost a good weather transition into water temperatures and all that fun stuff.
I tried.
It worked. It worked.
Thank you. I'm learning from y'all. All righty, let's take a look at the radar scan here. Not too much going on this morning, tracking some ground clutter, all that green you're seeing across the metro area. So the radar is in that ultra sensitive mode, picking up whatever is happening here, but it's not rain. I am tracking a few showers. Some moderate to light rain over parts of Marion County this morning. I'm not seeing any lightning strikes, but getting a good soaking rain along I-75 near Martin, north of Kendrick. A few light showers staying south of Oak, and that's all I'm tracking this morning. In fact, rain chances will remain pretty low today heading into the weekend as well. So if you have any weekend plans, any outdoor plans, I think we're looking good to go. As we take a look at the water vapor imagery, all of this orange that you're seeing here, I'm pinpointing that dry air moving across not only the Gulf of Mexico, also across the peninsula. So that is why our rain chances will be nice and low. And you may feel the humidity a little bit lower than usual. Still humid, but it's tolerable. Current temperatures are pretty comfortable at the moment in Wildwood and the Villages, starting off at 73, Orlando 75. Good morning. Daytona Beach and Cape Canaveral here at 74, and Cocoa Beach at 77 degrees. So here's a look at your hour-by-hour forecast for this morning in Orlando.
Your forecast is sponsored by Publix.
We're looking at temperatures steady in the lower to middle 70s. Official sunrise this morning is 7:13, looking at a nice dry morning. And then rain chances going up to 30% this afternoon. So here's a look at your 7-day forecast. 90 today, 30%, 90 tomorrow, 20%. The first day of fall is on Sunday. It's not going to feel like it. I'm sorry. 91 on Sunday, and then breezy on Monday with temperatures in the upper 80s. We're going to keep those rain chances nice and low. Now it's time to check on those roads. Here's Trooper Steve.
Thank you, Michelle. If you're headed out to the coast or maybe waking up in Brevard County this morning, your road conditions are doing pretty good. Cocoa, Cape Canaveral, Rockledge, Cocoa Beach, no problems this morning. Even zooming in down here towards 520 as you make your way closer into the city limits out there along Cocoa Beach. No issues out there this morning. South Brevard, you guys look good too. Out into the Melbourne area. So many of you guys reaching out to us, letting you guys know you enjoyed WKMG Hits the Road. Palm Bay, no issues, and southern portions of the Florida Turnpike, all clear. A possible new benefit when it comes to those popular weight loss drugs.
Ahead at 6, how it may actually help prevent heart trouble. But first, detectives search for more victims of a man charged with child sex trafficking. Why deputies believe he had access to more children. Next, as we check our big stories.
Trooper Steve on Patrol is sponsored by Gibson Truck World. We are the king of trucks.
As a trooper, I know how every crash is going to affect your commute. So watch me on News 6 Mornings.
We just learned new details about a shooting in Brevard County. The sheriff's office says they responded to the Tropical Manor Apartments on Merritt Island just after midnight. One person was shot and taken to the hospital. They say, though, they're still looking for a suspect.
A former basketball coach with the Boys and Girls Club now accused of molesting children and even holding a teen hostage at his home. Carl Lombardo was arrested this week in Ocala. Deputies say he even offered cash to a parent to keep one of the victims.
Well, several Edgewater residents are expected to fill city council chambers tonight as leaders look at ways to help ease flooding in the Florida Shores neighborhood. Residents are asking leaders to stop all development in the area and believe it's the source of the flooding.
And still ahead, another Central Florida neighborhood is looking to get results.
Oh yeah, we're following the update out of Longwood where neighbors are hoping to stop a woman from blocking a drainage pipe.
You're watching News 6 Mornings, getting results for DeLand, Oviedo, and all of Central Florida. We'll be right back.
To everyone, it was just another case, and you looked at us like another family. I trust Channel 6.